Should Ferrari sack Fred Vasseur? Social media has been on fire with rumors regarding good old Fred Vasseur. Even the Spice Boy, Mr. Red Bull himself, Christian Horner, has been linked in many reports with sources likely to be, trust me bro, to be taking over at the Scuderia. Even more reputable sources like the Planet F1s of the world have reported about the perceived threat to Fred's reign at the Little Horsies. No doubt, Ferrari have been a massive letdown so far this season. I wasn't as ludicrously optimistic as your hardcore Ferrari fans about the 2025 season, seeing as they put all their hopes on the back of an aging legend who consistently broke Ferrari hearts when he kept whipping Seb Vettel and Kimi Classic into submission when he was in his prime at Mercedes. But still, Ferrari came within a single race to winning the Constructors' title last season, and I myself was hoping for some McLaren-Ferrari battles like the ones I grew up with when Häkkinen and Schumi were waging war at 300 km an hour for the right to paint a number 1 on the nose of one of their cars. You don't need a degree in psychology or even to clean your glasses to see that that has not happened. So, is Fred Vasseur to blame? Maybe. But the same Vasseur was responsible for last season's progress. F1 is a cutthroat business. Maybe someone should tell Flavio Briatore not to take that statement literally. Anyway, as I was saying before interrupting myself, Formula 1 is a cutthroat business and difficult decisions regularly need to be made. Should Ferrari blame Vasseur for Hamilton and Leclerc's struggles and give him the designer boot, or does Mr. Fred the friendly prankster deserve another chance to make Ferrari great again? How do we ascertain though whether Fred of the few hair follicles has done a rubbish job? I feel it unfair to only compare his performances to that of the opposition, and I feel we need to also compare it to his predecessors at Maranello. So, to the DeLorean as we travel back in time. Since 1978, Ferrari have had 10 team principals. In that time, the team has produced 3 World Drivers' Champions: Jody Scheckter in 1979, Michael Schumacher in 2000 to 2005, and Kimi Classic in 2007. Only Marco Piccinini, Jean Todt and Stefano Domenicali have lasted more than 3 seasons. Interestingly enough, they are also the 2 of the only 3 ones to have won a title at Ferrari. In contrast, Toto Wolff has been at Mercedes for at least 100 years, and Christian Horner has led the red energy drinks for about 10,000 years. Zak Brown has been boss at McLaren under different titles since 2016. While I obviously exaggerated Toto and Horner's time at their teams a little bit, it has been true that the 3 teams that have most recently won the Constructors' title are the 3 teams who have backed their team bosses, even when times were dark. But that does not seem to always be the Ferrari way. Comparing Vasseur's time with that of Arrivabene and Binotto seems to be the fairest way to go about this. In 2014, Ferrari were 4th, far enough behind champions Mercedes to need a telescope to even see them, winning no races. Arrivabene arrived and they improved to 2nd and won 3 races in 2015. In 2016 they once again faded to 3rd, winning nothing. In 2017 they won 5 and Vettel put up a genuine title challenge while finishing runner-up in the drivers and constructors. 6 wins followed in 2018 and runner-up spot in the constructors, and 2nd and 3rd in the drivers title. And then Arrivabene traded Formula 1 for football. Enter Binotto. In 2019, Ferrari won 3 races and again finished runner-up in the constructors, but a best of 4th in the drivers' title meant the team went backwards. For 2020, there was massive disappointment. 0 wins, tons of spins, and 6th in the constructors. 2021 saw them recover to 3rd, but again failed to win a race. 2022 started brilliantly, Ferrari winning 4 races and briefly scaring Red Bull before finishing runners-up again and finally getting rid of Mr. Binotto. Then came Vasseur. Ferrari were the only team not called Red Bull to win a race, and were pipped to third by Mercedes by only 3 points. In 2024 they won 5, and McLaren had to win the final race of the season to beat Ferrari in the Constructors, the closest they had come to winning that thing since dinosaurs walked the earth. Then of course they sacked the consistent Sainz and replaced him with the ancient statistical GOAT, probably damaging the balance of the team and creating insane expectations they obviously could not achieve. After 10 races, Ferrari are winless in 2025, except for a sprint victory in Shanghai. They lie third, battling Team Mercedes in second and Red Bull, who have a single car. Well, they do have a team, but they really have only got one car, in fourth. 3 podiums in 10 races is disappointing, especially considering how McLaren has kicked on from the 2 teams' battles last season. There are positives though. That sprint win in Shanghai was the first win for Ferrari and for Lewis Hamilton, and barring the double disqualification in the main race in China, both Ferraris have scored points in every single race, and Ferrari lie above perennial arch-enemy Red Bull in the standings. All isn't doom and gloom, though the little horsies obviously haven't a snowball's chance in the Sahara of winning a title this season. Vasseur has to burden some of the blame, but his fall-off is nowhere near what happened under Binotto in 2020, and the spectacled one was given another year to weave his meme-tastic magic after that. 2 years! He was given 2 years after that. I think Hamilton has taken very long to settle, and the loss of Sainz has had more of an impact than expected, as possibly shown by the frustrations between Lewis and his crew during races. 2025 was always going to be a strange season, with Newey leaving Red Bull, which, by the way, has caused a bigger crash than anything barring crypto has managed in recent years, and with the regulations changing next year, this was always going to be a year of transition. Pressure on Vasseur is increasing with every mediocre result though, with La Gazzetta dello Sport claiming the human lookalike of Homer Simpson may be sacked after the British Grand Prix, and that Antonella Coletta, the man in charge of Ferrari's hypercar program, could replace him after Ferrari had won a 3rd consecutive Le Mans 24 hours. Leo Turini though put it best on his blog when he said, and I quote, "The 2026 car is already ready, or almost. If you send Fred home now, you, John Elkann, must publicly declare that the successor, whoever he is, will not be responsible for better or worse for the immediate results, precisely because it cannot affect what has already been achieved. Ferrari doesn't need pathetic public defenders. We need honest witnesses to the truth." End quote. I think Ferrari would be foolish to cut Vasseur loose now, with new regulations around the corner. Let the man see it through to next season, and if he once more fails to deliver at least a title challenge, let him sleep with the fishes, or retire to Tuscany, or paint some church ceilings, or whatever movie trope Italian bosses nowadays do to their employees when they sack them. And with that, another video is done and dusted. Much obliged to you for spending your time with me. If you don't mind hitting that sub and like buttons, that would be mighty kind. God bless you, and see you soon.